Good morning. My name is Lou Ann Smith, and I am a high school teacher in Prince George's County Public Schools. One of the issues that we face on a daily basis is flat-out parent and student apathy of just the simple basis of getting your body in the building and in my classroom. If they don't come to school, No Child Left Behind is wonderful, but it doesn't do us any good. I teach government. I teach U.S. history. We have socioeconomic and racial issues. We know that. And if we don't get these kids now, our democracy is destined to fail because they don't know. They don't understand the long-term impact of not getting the education. I applaud your efforts, but I want to see it put into reality in my building every day. So.
I'll just say something quickly, and I'm sure you'll all say something much more eloquent, so let me go first, so I'm out of the way. I think first let me just thank you for being that teacher who is committed to our students and for doing that incredible work every day, and for even making the time to be here and hear about the policies all the way through, because I think that shows an incredible commitment. I think a couple of quick thoughts there. One is the issue of relevance and engagement has become more and more part of the discussion of high school reform. How do we create high schools that in their very structure show kids why it's important to come to school, to learn, to get that degree, how it will translate into a better future for themselves throughout their life, and to make that learning interesting on a daily basis, inquiry-based, project-based learning, service learning. There's so many approaches to making learning more of something students want to participate in. And in high school, that's particularly important because, 4-year-olds, 10-year-olds, they don't make those choices about going to school. They learn because they're fascinated by being up in the morning and having the opportunity. High school kids, you got to work a little harder at it. But one other thing I'll say is the attendance piece is critical. And one of the things that research has shown us is that attendance is one of the first indicators of when a high school is starting to turn around and get better. And part of a particular piece of legislation the Alliance is supporting and some of our other partners are supporting is the Graduation Promise Act would use attendance, among other factors, as part of the school improvement system to say when a school is starting to turn around, we're not only looking for test scores and grad rates because those changes, while critical, are not the first changes you see. They actually take a little longer. But you do see attendance change right up front because that question of are the students coming in the door is the first order question of getting them to learn. So your point is very well taken.
No, I think that's a very powerful point, and I think that much of what we've been discussing here have been sort of principles and legislative strategy and the like. And as a former teacher, I do try to sort of reality test some of what we're talking about, but it's obviously going to be a different experience. And I think much of what we've been talking about has been the grand principles of No Child Left Behind, and that what we've seen is there's been significant variation in terms of the implementation of those principles and significant resistance to that. I think that that's going to be a process, and that if we continue to have accountability, then that it's going to pressure the district officials, it's going to pressure the state officials to implement programs. And certainly as a representative of a nonprofit community-based organization, I'll put in a quick pitch for engagement with CBOs as being particularly able to bring in parents, especially for Latino parents, especially for English language learner parents, that community-based organizations may have tools that in partnering with schools can be effective in addressing some of the attendance issues and the other.
I want to add my thanks to Bethany for both your service and for your being here. I think it's really it's a testament to you and your commitment to the work that you do. I mentioned earlier that sometimes teachers and teachers' unions are demonized in this debate and are sort of perceived as the most important instrumentality in terms of achieving reform. And when it doesn't happen, they are perceived to be the ones most responsible. I think it's inaccurate. I think it's unfair. And I think in many instances we have loaded teachers with responsibilities that are not rightfully theirs, and the school is not the institution capable for addressing it. So I think that has to be examined. Secondly, I believe there is an element of personal responsibility that comes into this debate, and I do think we have to acknowledge that. And I think we have to facilitate instances where parents can be encouraged to participate more effectively in the education of their kids and in the support of their kids. These are not, however, instincts and experiences that are inherent in the role of being parents. These are learned experiences. They're learned from generation to generation. You know, your parents supported you, you're supporting your kids, and you're supporting the students in your classes. Something that has to be learned and encouraged. I'm all for early childhood education because I recognize that students do need to come to school with a certain proficiency to learn. Just decorum, sitting in a seat and listening without fidgeting and jumping around. Now, I understand kids have ADD. I had ADD. But, you know, the bottom line is that's often a learned behavior. And all I'm saying to you is that at every stage in the process where class and poverty create structural barriers and impediments to learning, those have to be addressed. So I'm all for trying to reform No Child Left Behind in ways that address the issues that you've spoken about. But that needs to be coupled with a level of community involvement in education, which has to play a complementary role in helping to prepare students to learn. And so I'm down with the reforms. We have to pursue those, and I'm committed to making that happen. But I'm also committed to making certain that there is a broader understanding of what it means to achieve the kind of educational reform you've addressed here this morning.
Thank you very much, Wade.